How you guys doing today? Good. Good. So I just asked Coach Wake, and I was just asking, how's the football season going for these guys? How are they feeling about it? And it wasn't the brightest response that I got. So I'd like to hear from you guys. How's the season going so far? It's going all right. How do you guys feel as a team right now? You can use some improvement? All right. So basically, I got a team of guys, and you guys are all saying the same thing. What you don't realize is that the guys that are right next to you are the ones that can make a difference for that season. So I want you to raise your hand if anybody's ever called you an individual. If you've ever been called a team player by somebody else. So we got a few team players in the room. As you guys saw, there's not a lot of guys in this room that were willing to raise their hand when I asked how many team players do we have in this room. And I can actually say that I agree with you because that's where I started when I came to Bradley. When I first came to Bradley, I didn't know what football was. Man, I kind of pretended, and I told Coach Gus, I came in, I was from Pat Neff. I came from a not as good of a school as Bradley School. Bradley was winning, and we were losing. Bradley was educated. My school was on the route down, more teen pregnancy, a lot of weird things going on. And I came here because I saw a lot of opportunity. I was blessed, and I wanted a better future for myself. So I came here. Coach Gus asked me if I've ever played football before. Of course, I was like, yeah, I'm a seventh grader. I'm supposed to know what football is. So I was like, yeah, I played football before. First day of practice, I get out there. I had all my pads on, and I put the shoulder pads on. I was like, that makes sense, right? And then I put the belt on, and then I saw these two pads about this size, right? And I'm thinking, this looks like a cup, right? So the first day of practice, I showed up with one knee pad on my crotch, and the other knee pad was on my butt. And from there on, it was a struggle to get back up and let them know that I could still play football. I knew nothing, and yet right now, I'm trying to pursue a professional football career. Right now, you guys have a team, and you're trying to figure out how you can make it a better team, right? So what I realized is that when I first got here, I was an individual myself. I just wanted to do good because I wanted to get better every day. It was all about what can E-Man do to prove that he's the fastest? What can E-Man do to prove that he's a good player? One of the toughest guys that we had during my season at Bradley, which is actually one of my best friends now for life, me and him would always get in a little argument because he would always come back to me and he'd be like, "You're such an individual." And I'd be like, "Heck yeah, I'm an individual." And I was proud because I thought that was cool. I was like, I'm looking at guys like Ocho Cinco, all the big NFL guys, they do what they want, right? They do the little dance, they have fun, they swag out. But what I was missing was that when you become that team player, there's none of that running gashers and trying to be first at the end of the gashers. You're going to make sure that everybody on the team's working from the beginning to the end. So the goal for you guys is you want to hold each other accountable. And it's not just on the field, it's also in the classroom. Because a lot of the time what you'll find out when you start getting to high school football, whatever sport that you guys may want to play, there's going to be times when you guys are going to have some really awesome players. You're going to have those guys that you need to get that team win, that quarterback, that running back, that linebacker. And with that guy, he might be so good that he's going to think, oh, I don't need to focus on school. I'm going to be an athlete. I'm going to play football. I'm going to make it. I'm going to do what I got to do. But when that guy's not there because his grades weren't up to par, your team's going to suffer. And you're only as strong as your weakest link. And sometimes you don't even realize that the guy can be your weakest link while he's also your best athlete. His character might be something that makes him the weakest link. His work ethic might be something that makes him the weakest link. The way he treats other people on his team might be something that makes him the weakest link. So from there, on my way out of Bradley, that's where my learning of a team really began. That's where my positive nature. And right now, you guys have great coaches. Man, there were times when I was running gashers and I didn't even think I could go anymore. I was like, I'm done. My legs are about to cramp up. I just want to pass out. Is this really worth it? And then I'd hear Coach Beck right there in the back saying, keep going, GrawVez. You can do it. Finish through the line. No matter what, your team's here for you. And things like that is what I think is what a team needs to do. Because you're not going to have Coach Beck when you go to high school. You're not going to have Coach Beck when you graduate from high school, go to college. You're not going to have Coach Beck when you're in life and you're going through some struggles and you just can't do it by yourself. You're going to have those people around you that have been supporting you all your life, and you're going to have to find it within to keep pushing yourself. So right now, you guys need to take advantage of the opportunities that you have with each other. This is your team. If somebody's struggling in a class, on homework, on a test, make sure that you go out of your way and ask them, hey man, do you need some help with that? If you guys are struggling emotionally, something's happening at home, try and, give out that hand and let that guy know, hey, it's okay, man. If you want to talk about something, if there's something that's going on, let him know that you're there for him. Because the guy that needs the help, he wants to ask you right now, but he doesn't know if he has that camaraderie. He doesn't know if he has that support from you right now. And he's going to need to humble himself to go out of his way to ask for help. So it's a two-way street, and that's what makes a team great. My coach sat us down in a room, and he had every group, like D linemen, running backs, receivers. I want you to get with your position coaches, and I want you guys to share a little bit more about your life, your personal story. Because once you know about the man and his character and what he's been through, then you're going to know how to respond to him. Then you're going to know how to talk to him and help him. But if you guys don't know anything about each other, if you guys just look at each other in the classroom and go home and care nothing about each other, that's exactly the way your team's going to be when you get on that field. When you're facing somebody else and you guys are just trying to act like a team for that day, it's going to show. But if you really have the heart to play for the guy right next to you, everything is possible. You guys are going to be so focused. You're going to be so pumped. You don't even have to get nervous about anything because you're playing for him, he's playing for you, and you guys are all together. And the last thing I want to say is I've always been a student athlete, and that's why I went to Bradley. Bradley's college-bound Braves, man. We had so much pride with that. That's why I graduated college. So make sure that you guys focus on your education because one day if football, basketball, whatever sport you're playing doesn't work out, you're going to have that education, you're going to have that degree, you're going to have something to fall back on. Right now, I'm pursuing the CFL. I got to the CFL. I played preseason, 2 games. I was up there. I thought I had it. I was invincible. I got my sacks. I got my stats, right? But then life happens. The team cuts you. What are you going to do next? Right now, I have the privilege. I'm blessed. I can continue trying out, grinding. That's why I wear the shirt, because I have that opportunity. But I only have that opportunity because I have a degree that I can fall back on. I know if anything happens, I can go get a job. I'm an engineer. I put in that work in the classroom. So I think that if you guys can support yourselves not only on the field, but in the classroom, you guys are going to have a heck of a season.
He told me, he said, Coach, it's all good. I'm blessed. He said, if I don't get a professional football contract, I've got an engineering degree from the Colorado School of Mines. Guys, that'll take you anywhere. That engineering degree from Colorado School of Mines is a golden ticket. It doesn't happen by mistake. It doesn't happen because you show up at school. It doesn't happen because you are who you are and people are just going to give it to you. It doesn't happen that way. Otherwise, it would be called enjoy the grind. Because it was a grind. I remember some of the stories he told me as he was playing football up there.
Ever since you were in middle school, we knew you were going to be a success. So good luck to you in anything that you do in the future. We know you're going to be a great success, and just thanks for coming out and speaking to these kids.
This is one of our prized pupils, and we're very proud of him, and we're very glad, excited he decided to come back and visit us. It truly means a lot to us coaches to have some of our best and brightest come back and visit, and we cannot say thank you enough. Thank you very much.